NBC10 at Issue starts now.
Pennsylvania governor's race. It's one of the most high-profile political battles in the country, and we're less than 2 weeks away from the primary. No PA governor has ever lost re-election, but while history is on Governor Corbett's side, the polls are not. That's why NBC10 is interviewing all four Democratic candidates right now on NBC10 at Issue. Good morning, I'm Jim Rosenfield. We've been working the campaigns for weeks, trying to get each candidate to really sit down with me and talk about the issues in depth. Over the next half hour, you'll hear from each one of them. State Treasurer Rob McCord, former Clinton White House Environmental Advisor Katie McGinty, U.S. Representative Allison Schwartz, and businessman Tom Wolf. Now, each candidate came individually to the NBC10 studios at different times depending on their schedules. And I'll be taking you issue by issue through what we discussed ahead of their debate, which you can only see live locally tomorrow night here on NBC10. First at issue, gun control in a state deeply divided over it.
I think the Second Amendment creates a right for people to have guns legitimately, but that doesn't mean that we can't make sure that we're doing the reasonable things in background checks, that we can't get rid of straw sales of guns, can't get illegal guns off the street, that we can't get rid of loopholes that allow people who shouldn't have guns to buy them. And that would be a first step to trying to divide between the people who beat their chest in terms of the Second Amendment and those who are equally passionate about the need to eliminate guns altogether. We need to find a common ground because surely people of good conscience have to understand that we cannot live in a society that has the kind of violence where a child is afraid to walk out of her home.
How big a priority would that be in a Wolf administration? How much of this are you hearing out on the campaign trail, and are you surprised at all that it's not even a bigger issue that in this campaign?
I think it is a big issue, and I think they're very deeply and passionately held beliefs on both sides of this issue.
Listen, I do think we're at a place where the common ground, where the common wisdom is we have to act to close those loopholes, to enable law enforcement to keep weapons out of the hands of criminals, of folks who have mental health issues, and act aggressively to protect young and innocent people in our communities. As the daughter of a policeman, I've also stepped up to say at a time when budget pressures have led many communities to reduce or to let police officers go, I've proposed a major increase in a community policing initiative where we put 1,000 additional officers on the street, walking the beat, getting to know community leaders, pastors, moms and dads, teen leaders, becoming a part of the fabric of the community and able effectively to dial that violence down.
One of the things I try to do is manage people's expectations. I think people who are concerned about gun violence, maximally concerned about gun violence, would find out that I basically agree with them about common sense gun control and making sure that people who are provably crazy don't get access to guns. I'm not sure anybody should have a shoulder-launched missile in their basement. Do people have an entitlement to buy a nuclear weapon if it becomes commercially available? I mean, there's got to be some border to this. That said, I like to manage people's expectations and say I'm having trouble finding a half dozen Democratic votes west of the Susquehanna for any movement here. And what you do is burn political capital without helping people. Here's how we help people. First, we invest again in public education. We dramatically reduce time after school crimes. We dramatically increase graduation rates. That will help to address gun crime. Second, we invest heavily in innovative and proven community-based policing.
So here's what I would do. I believe we should have universal background checks for all gun owners. Responsible law-abiding citizens shouldn't have a problem with that. We should close loopholes to make sure that there aren't loopholes and get through for that and gun shows. And I do also believe that we should make sure that we have some good laws on this, but they're not enforced universally, is that straw purchasers are held accountable. The ones who go into gun shops and buy a lot of weapons, turn around and sell them out of their back of their car or to somebody who wouldn't be able to buy it legally, we should hold them responsible. We should arrest them, we should prosecute them, and we should make sure that they know that in Pennsylvania that is not acceptable.